everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Pink Plum Bob. I'm also called Emma in real life, and I've decided to start a YouTube channel doing Sims 4 speed builds. I know I'm pretty late to the party, but my boyfriend's been asking me for a while, you know, why don't you give it a go? Your builds are good, and I think, bless his heart, he said that he thinks I'm just as good as some of the other YouTubers out there. So I thought, you know what, let's give it a go, see if I get any subscribers, which would be lovely. So if you do view this video, thank you so much for stopping by. Please leave comments down below and let me know what you think of the speed build. Let me know on any tips or tricks, because I'm new to this whole video editing thing. I just had to do all my research online and see what other YouTubers were using to, you know, film the speed builds and stuff, and I just kind of, you know, got all the basics done and took it from there really. And this is the first of my series, which is a renovation series, and this one's called the Old School House. I can't actually remember where I built this. Where did I build this now? I don't know where I built this. I think it was in no, I can't remember. Newcrest, that's where I built it, was in Newcrest. So this one's the Old School House. It costs 101,659 simoleons, and I built it on a 40 by 30 lot. It's got 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. I also like to give my builds traits because I feel it adds a new dimension to the Sims gameplay. So I added the good schools trait, which is the local school is great. Kids seem to get high grades and usually do better at homework. And the benefits of this is that your kids will get a 30% boost to their school performance, and 25% of child or teen Sims receiving the quality education confident moodlet before school. And I also added in the child's play trait. And kids just seem to learn faster here, and I thought that was appropriate considering, you know, I've built a school. And the benefits of this is that child Sims and adult Sims with the childish trait receive the child's play / inner child play playful moodlet when using children's objects. Other features of this build are there is a bell tower on the top of the school, and it's also made from red and white wooden slats, which I feel is like a classic sort of American style schoolhouse. This sort of schoolhouse I would imagine would have been in the late 1800s, early 1900s, kind of like the Victorian times, when you know, you only had a handful of children and maybe 2 classrooms at most. And I also added on like a small extension on the right side of the schoolhouse, which I thought maybe could have been a really small locker room or something, you know, back in the day. So there's other features on that. I also believe I added, I can't remember, I need to wait and see further down the build. I'm pretty sure I added some flags, and also out the front there is an old sign, and on the sign I added a cork board, and I thought this could be kind of like, you know, a community sort of thing where people could post, you know, local events that are going on, stuff like that. I did try and find some writing for the sign, but I couldn't find anything that I liked, so I just put the cork board, I can't speak, I'm sorry, the cork board instead. I felt it was more appropriate for the build. And I imagined maybe a single parent living here with a teenage daughter and then a young child boy sim. And I've added quite a lot of you know, skill building items. So I wanted it to be quite an educational lot for your Sims. So I've also added a swing set and a climbing frame out the back, you know, because it's a school. And then I've added like an easel, arts and crafts table, planter boxes in the front and the back, beekeeping boxes, woodwork table, florist table, scouts board, and a barbecue as well. So your Sims can have a nice barbecue in the summer. So this is, I have filmed a couple of speed builds, but this is the first one I've actually edited, so if the editing's a bit dodgy, please let me know. Give me tips and advice on how to improve. So I've literally just gone straight in, don't know what I'm doing, just having a guess. So if there's anything people can suggest to make it a bit better, a bit more smoother, then just please pop the, you know, your suggestions down below in the comments. And please like and subscribe, that'd be really, really nice to see somebody just one person liking and subscribing to my channel. I've got a lot more renovations coming up. I've got a long list actually. Next, I've actually got a old fire station house. So that's the next video I need to edit and do a voiceover for. So this is my first ever voiceover. I don't know how I sound. I don't have a clue really what to say, but I'll tell you a bit about myself. So my name's Emma. I've been playing The Sims since I can remember, really. I remember seeing The Sims for the first time probably when I was about 12 or 13 on a friend's computer, and I was like, oh my god, what is this game? I need this game. And I remember I was too young to actually buy the game, so I had to get my dad to buy it, because they actually asked me for ID, and I'm thinking, I'm like 13 years old, what 13-year-old child would have ID? So I got my dad to buy it for me, and of course, silly me, silly Emma, I bought an expansion pack rather than the base game. I got a bit ahead of myself. So that's where it all began. And then I moved out in 2015, and then I didn't have a computer for a good couple of years in between when The Sims 3 ended and Sims 4 began. I did buy Sims 4 when it got released, but I didn't like it at all. And then it completely put me off The Sims. And then I was off Sims for about 2 years, and then I think my boyfriend reintroduced me into The Sims 4, and obviously a few expansion packs have come out since then. So I've been playing The Sims 4 pretty much full time for the past 2 years now, and slowly but surely, you know, my building's improved and stuff like that. So that's my Sims, you know, where that all kind of started. And then I started watching people do speed builds on YouTube, and I thought, you know what? You know, some people are really clever. And then, you know, I didn't think I was good enough to do this sort of thing. So I just built because I fancied it. And I like playing The Sims as well. Like, I am an active player as well as a builder. So yeah. And a little bit more about myself. I'm 25 years old. I live in England, and I've got 3 cats. I've got an older cat called Pebbles, and she is 10 years old. And I've just recently had 2 kittens. I started off by having one, and his name's Elvis. And he is a white fluffy Persian, and he is a troublemaker. And because Pebbles, she is a grumpy old lady. She likes her own space. She likes, you know, everything to be just so. You know, she has her side of the bed. She has her own chair. Stuff like that. And Elvis, he was a bit wild for her, and she was getting really annoyed with him. So I went and I got another kitten, and her name is Olive, and she's lovely. She's gorgeous. She's a tortoise shell, and they're only 2 weeks apart, so they're very similar in age. And since Elvis has been introduced to Olive, they are just like, they get on like a house on fire, and they leave Pebbles alone, which is what I wanted, really. So back onto the speed build. I'm at the kitchen at the moment, and this completely changes in a bit. I decided I didn't like the matching tiles with the bathroom tiles, so I went for a gingham wallpaper all the way around the living room, and I think it suited the build much better. It was, I don't know, there's something about matching tiles in kitchens in bathrooms that I don't really like. So I've seen Sims builders do it before, and that's fine, but for this build in particular, I didn't think it was really suitable. So I changed it to the gingham, and I really like the gingham actually. I don't think I've ever actually used this wallpaper before until this build. So it was nice. I'm trying to use stuff that I don't normally use in a Sims build. I normally have a specific aesthetic that I stick to when I'm playing personally for myself. So so I decided to try and change it up a little bit, you know, explore a bit more, open my mind up to different styles and different, you know, architectural builds and stuff like that. So it's only a small kitchen, but it's perfect for this build. You know, you're not going to get much. It's only a small build at the end of the day. It's not a ginormous build. But I must say, I do struggle with big builds. I'm more of a small to medium sized builder. I've never built on a 64 by 64 lot. It's too much. I get so overwhelmed with it. I mean, I see other builders and they just do it. They just get on with it and they build these amazing things. I don't know where to start. It's just like this giant canvas, and I can't do it. I have tried a lot before to do 64 by 64 and build these ginormous suburban houses. But I can't fill the space, and then once I do build it, I don't know what to put in the empty spaces. I always find I've got a lot of dead space left over on the walls and in the corners and stuff, so I just don't bother. I just stick to what I know, but I am planning on doing some larger builds in the future. Get myself out of my comfort zone, get myself used to this sort of building, but I will stick to more stuff that I'm used to. This build took me about 4 hours to build in total. I wasn't counting exactly, to be honest. I came back to this in a couple of recordings. I like to do a little bit at a time, because then I get fresh eyes on the thing, but I have noticed that there are a few mistakes. Only a couple, only something, small things, like the rugs aren't actually in the places I wanted them to be, and when you look at something for so long and you can't actually see it anymore. So it wasn't until I actually started editing, when I had a fresh pair of eyes, I thought, oh blimey, I put the rugs in a place I didn't want them to, so I will go back in and I will sort all the tiny little details that I missed in the build originally. Now for the living room, I decided to go for this trunk TV stand, which I thought suited the build really nicely. And I also really like the windows I've chosen, like the rounded top windows, big open windows. I thought it let lots of light in, and I think it looks like school windows, like old-fashioned school windows, to be honest. And also those pictures I put behind the TV, I imagine they could be like old pictures from back in the day, from when it was all oldie-worldy and the town, maybe when they first started taking photos around the town, and maybe there were pictures of in the school as well, you never know. I'll leave that down to you guys to use your imagination. Now, I did take ages choosing a sofa, like that was cut down so much. I thought I can't put you guys through watching me choose a settee. So I went for these ones in the end, the ones with the wooden backs. And I think they look really nice, actually, nice cream. And you'll see in a bit that I put in like a little round stool, which I thought would be great as like a little, a little Ottoman footstool thing. I know the Sims won't use it like that, but it looks nice. So, and then I just decided to clutter it up just a little bit, make it look a bit more lived in. And of course I put plants in. I feel like plants are your saving grace if you don't know what to put somewhere. So I love putting either a good lamp or a good plant in the corner. Fills up the space, makes it, I like greenery as well. A lot of greenery, not overpowering, I don't want it to look like an actual greenhouse. And then I put some of the old books on top of the bookshelf, just to add realism. I felt like this is a very educational home, maybe a very educational driven family. Thing else that I forgot to do completely, I knew I would forget bits and pieces here and there. So I do go ahead and put a chess table in the corner in a minute, you'll see me do that. But I'm meant to put in a dining table and chairs. I do actually go back in. I can't remember if I do film me changing the chess table for a dining table. So we'll have to wait and see when that comes. But if you did want to put the chess table back in, then you can just go ahead and purchase it and stick it wherever you want. And then once again I put some more of those old photos up. The other swatches, so it looks like lots of different variations of different parts of the cities and town, whatever. And then you'll see me in a minute. I'll start doing the little laundry room in the corner. I don't know if that's like a thing. I've never seen anybody have an open living room, an open kitchen, and then all of a sudden there's kind of like a laundry room there. So I don't know. It might be one of those things that people like, it might not be. You can always, put a wall across it and put a door down so it's completely separate. I just thought it'd be a nice little nook for a laundry section, that was all. So I just thought, I'll put that in. And then I cluttered that up again with the little wash basket and some bits and pieces, cleaner materials. Also, it would be great if you let me know how the speed of the build is for you, if it's too fast or if it's not fast enough. Just give me as much feedback as you can. I'm completely new to this sort of thing. I'm just kind of going off my own instinct and just seeing how it goes. So just give me as much feedback as possible, whether it's criticism or positive. I'm open to anything at the moment. You know, I want to be able to create the best content I can, and you know, I really would like this channel to take off. But I know I've got a long way ahead of me before any of that, you know, goes crazy, and hopefully it will go crazy. You know, this is something I want to do. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I just haven't had the confidence to do it. So this is a big step. So hopefully this will be the start of something really good. Oh, and I put a little umbrella thing there because I love it when they have their umbrellas. So we're moving on to the hallway now. I actually really like the hallway. I did think about putting lockers in, but I thought no, it's not really homely. And here's another time where the mats aren't even. So the mat, I like where that mat is there. It's a good space between the mat and the door, but the other side I put the mat right up to the door and I didn't even notice. I'm going to go back in and change that. It's just small tweaks really, it's always the small things, but like in a build, I like builds to be perfect. So, and then I just put a few of those. I love those sketches. I thought those would be suitable for the build, maybe, you know, like an old graphic designer used to go to school there or something like that. And then I did use the high back chair in the end. I thought it suited the hallway lovely. Put some more lights in, and there's the rug seat is right against the door. And then I put the little key wall art thing. Sorry, excuse me, my throat's going all bubbly. It's getting near my bedtime, you see. And then also now we're going on to the master bedroom, which is where I choose this kind of light blue colour with the wood paneling, and the cream beige carpet. And I've noticed as well the pants are sticking through the wall. Now that's another thing I'll go back and change. And then I use these really large cats and dogs bedside tables, and I actually love them. I love how worn down they look, like they're second hand or even third hand. I thought they were perfect, and especially with the little lantern on the top. I thought it suited this room really nicely. Now I wanted it to be blue so it could be kind of unisex, but I do put in a vanity table with bottles of nail varnish and perfume, but you can always take that away and put something a bit more manly in if you wanted to. And once again, more books. I felt like this woman or man could be a bit of a bookworm. When I do put the perfume tray, so yeah, I'm kind of going for a single mum here. And then I go for that kind of worn down looking mirror as well. And then once again, I do use those wicker baskets, but I think they're such a good little clutter tool. And they're kind of really in fashion, I guess, at the minute, sort of wickery kind of baskets with blankets in and stuff like that. I see a lot of it on Pinterest. So here I am cluttering it up with all female kind of stuff. But like I said earlier, you can change it for whatever you want. You can change any of this build. I mean, it'd be lovely if somebody wanted to download this off the gallery and completely change it to something different, maybe a completely different aesthetic, maybe something really modern, ultra modern, something like that. And then this is the teenage girl's bedroom, which I actually love. I kind of inspired the messiness from how I used to be as a teenager. I used to have a terribly messy bedroom and my mum used to go mad at me. But I couldn't help it, I was just so untidy. I didn't even know I was doing it at the time. But since moving out, I've become a bit of a clean freak. So I think it's different when you get your own place. But I love the patchwork duvet. I think that's gorgeous and once again suits the aesthetic of the build. And I put some of the clutter down that you get from I believe it's Parenthood. Because I think, you know, I could just imagine a artsy-fartsy, messy teenage girl living here. And I do put an easel in her bedroom as well. I felt like she could be like the artist of the family. She wants to pursue an art career when she's older. And I also put a computer in her bedroom for her as well. Just a boxy one. I felt like maybe her mum didn't want her to get like a really fancy computer. There's more important things to be doing rather than playing on computer games all the time. So, and there's the mess I put all over the floor. I love the mess. And I thought maybe she could be a cat person as well. you probably noticed I am a bit of a crazy cat lady. I love cats. And then I thought that plate on the top there would be maybe something she did when she was like 5 years old or something like that, and she's kept it since. And then a nice little teddy on the bed as well. You can't get enough teddies. I love teddy bears. I have a, it's not really a teddy bear, it's a hot water bottle unicorn, and I put that on my bed. So, and then I thought, well, the shoes would be nice, and I put more books. I don't realise how many times I actually use those books. And I put a little backpack down for her as well for when she's off to school. And you'll see me put the easel up. And I also put some really nice canvases behind the easel, and I thought maybe we could imagine she painted those. And you can always take them down as well, and you know, get her to paint her own stuff and stick that around on the walls. And then there is also a little boy's bedroom, but you'll see that in a minute. And I feel like he's kind of a little bit forgotten about, maybe. I mean, his bedroom's nice, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't got like as much nice stuff as the teenage girl. And I love the fairy lights across the window as well. You can't get enough fairy lights. So here I am putting the easel in with the canvases behind, which I think match really nicely actually. And I also loved using those big white kind of church doors. I felt like they were perfect for an old style build like this. More posters as well, just to make it look more lived in. And here we go onto the little boy's room. Now, I've never used the kids' bed before that I used for this build, but I actually am in love with it. I love the pattern. I'm pretty sure those are rockets. I can't tell. They look like, I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're supposed to be rockets or like little monsters. I don't know. But I thought it was really cute wallpaper. And don't worry, I do change that wall as well, back to normal. But to be honest, this room is kind of cute. You know, I can't complain too much. It's just a little bit on the small side for him. So in here I do put an arts and crafts table for him. Maybe he wants to follow in his sister's footsteps of being like a world-class artist. And I think I also put in a toy box as well, but I have to shrink it down because it does take up quite a lot of room. And there's some like pictures. I thought maybe he could have drawn those as inspiration. And I also do make sure I always like to make sure I put in either a chest of drawers or a wardrobe in every bedroom. I feel like a bedroom is complete with a chest of drawers. And then I put in the matching bookcase. Sorry, I can't stop saying It's a really bad habit of mine. I need to, well, I'm sure as these videos go on, I'll say it less and less and less. I'm just trying to ramble on to you guys. So here I'm just doing some more cluttering of the items. I've put a little teddy on the bed, and I've put the cute little rocket lunchbox on top of the bookcase. And something which I've just realised as well is that the bed sheets have actually got fire hydrants on them, which makes sense considering they came from the pet stuff pack. So I'm an idiot, I hold my hands up, I know. So never mind, at least I got there in the end. It's better late than never, isn't it? So, and then I've just put that little statue down there, which is like an educational statue. What is it? It's like a little boy and he's half. It's like what's it called now? Anatomy. That's what it is. It's like an anatomy educational figurine. So I put him down there, and here we are moving on to the landscaping now. It's quite repetitive to the front of the house. It's nothing very exciting. So I'll just whiz through this, and I do put in an outhouse shed, and in here I have put the floristry table, I've put the woodwork table, and I've also put the scouts board. I felt like these were appropriate items for this little outhouse. And I've also put a lot of junk in there because everybody seems to have a junk room or a junk area in their house somewhere, and I thought it just added a bit more realism to it. And I also do put a little back gate in the back garden, which you'll see me do in a short while. And the gates that I've used are from the toddler stuff pack as well. I thought they were really suitable for the build, really kind of cute. I wish we had more wicker fences. I kind of want one which is in between the toddler stuff pack one, and then I believe it's the, which is the garden? I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I'm such an idiot. Basically, I want a medium height picket fence. That's what I want. I want one with like the pointed tops, like the triangles on the top. We don't seem to have enough of those. The fences in this game either seem to be too tall or too short. There's no happy medium, especially in the picket fence department. I went for a metal roof for this, considering it's like a shed thing, and I did put a few windows in. I thought it could have been like a slightly renovated shed with more upgraded windows, because sheds normally don't really have any windows, just like a little square one. Or that's what we have in the UK. I don't know about American sheds, I can't comment, but in England we definitely just have like a little wooden shed with a little wooden door with a small square window. Maybe not even a window at all. And I've just put the basic wooden flooring in here. And here's the floristry table, and you'll see me in a moment. What I'll do is I'll actually extend the floristry table with these sideboards, as I felt like if you're a florist, you're going to need a bit more room than just what you've got given to you. So I felt these tables went perfectly, and I put a few of the floristry clutter items on there with the gloves and the little shovels on, and I do also fill it up with some of the potted plants, as I felt these could have been like potted plants that this sim could have made previously. And I put the little watering can thing there as well, which I thought was kind of cute. So I do clutter this section up, and then in the minute on the other side of the room I will put in a woodworking table. I didn't extend the table for that. I didn't think it was necessary, especially with all the junk sat around. So that's about it for the shed. Nothing exciting. I tell you what, I could do the shed in my back garden, but it's not physically big enough. I've only got a small little thing. Now I did want to use these wallflowers, but unfortunately they seem to be really dark, so I've never actually used them. I wish they were more lighter, and it would have been nice if they had a swatch where it's literally just green, kind of like a moss. I've seen a few builds. I watched this series on YouTube about unusual houses, and it was like this all white apartment, very clean, very almost medical looking. I can't think of the word now. And they did have this wall, and it was covered in moss, and it looked amazing, like an indoor moss wall, and it looked great, a great contrast against the white walls and the white floor. It was very clinical. That's the word I'm looking for, clinical. See, when I'm doing this, I can't seem to think of the words I'm after off the top of my head. Just a bit more landscaping now at the front, and I will just put some of the same plants which I've been putting out the front. Nothing exciting. And then around this area I do put in the beekeeping house as well, and you will see me put a little back gate there. Just off the camera there you will see that, which was the matching one which came with the toddler stuff pack. And on the right hand side I will put some more planter boxes down, and I also like to put grass underneath my trees. I feel like this is more realistic looking rather than just like a brown patch, which a lot of people do, which is fine. There's no problem with that. I just prefer putting grass, and I like it to look a little bit more overgrown, because no garden's perfect. I mean, mine is certainly not perfect, but... And then what I'll do is I will connect the terrain there to the back door, but I will put on like a little I can't talk, sorry guys, a brick section which I will cut off with a hedge fence, which you'll see me do in a moment. And here I'm just doing a bit more of the landscape with the same plants, making it look a bit more overgrown by the kids section. I felt like this family wouldn't be too bothered about their garden, even though they have got a massive gardening table in the shed, but you know what I mean. And then here I am doing the brickwork for this little section. I felt like it just filled the garden up a little bit more, because I also struggle with filling up gardens. I never know what to put, and I like them to look kind of not perfectly landscaped or anything like that. I want them to look like a good garden rather than just a big square piece of greenery with a couple of things in, like a swing set and the odd planter box. I want it to look like a proper realistic garden. So it didn't take me too long to do the landscaping for this. It was quite simple. And then behind in the moment. You'll see me, I put a little barbecue in as well, and a what's it called now, a bench with an umbrella, as I felt it was very appropriate considering it's for a school. I felt like this could have been like an old one that they used to use back in the day, an old picnic bench, and maybe they would have given it a lick of paint or something like that. And I do put a little bit more of the landscaping just in that tiny corner, that little nook there, just to fill up the space a little bit more. And to be honest with you, that's about it. You see me in a moment, I will put some, I'll turn it back to night and put some more lights around. Just so, I like to have a nice light garden at night so I can see everything when I'm playing. Don't know about you guys, but that's just my preference. And that's about it, to be honest, guys. So I'd just like to say thank you if you have stopped by. And please give me any advice, any comments, anything like that. I'd like to know as much information as I can. Please don't be too harsh. And at the end I have put in a load of screenshots. So I just want to say thank you so much for giving me a chance and giving this video a chance. So yeah, see you in the next time I upload a video. Bye guys.